Hello everyone, let's start with the fifth video of the detailed solution and explanation of 2014 MSc Botany entrance exam question paper of Delhi University. So let's start with the first question. Which of the following method is best suited to produce virus-free plants? So almost all the crop plants are infected by one or more viruses. The shoot apical meristem and its surrounding tissues are usually virus-free or contain very low copy number of the virus. The exact reason for this is still elusive, but the absence of proper vasculature and slower intercellular movement rate through plasmodesmata are the two prospective reasons for low copy number of virus in the shoot apical meristem. The first virus-free plant from virus-infected mother plant was obtained in 1948 by Holmes in Dahlia through shoot tip cuttings. And since then, the virus-free plants through meristem cultures are obtained in many plants, example soybean, tobacco, Dahlia, tomato, etc. So the answer to this question will be the C, that is the meristem culture. Next question, which of the following is not a plant-derived alkaloid? So codeine is an alkaloid prepared from opium or morphine by methylation. Opium is an isoquinoline alkaloid obtained from poppy plant, Papaver somniferum, family Papaveraceae. Morphine is an opium poppy, that is Papaver somniferum alkaloid, often used as an effective painkiller. Nicotine is an alkaloid obtained from tobacco plant, Nicotiana species. And limonene is a terpenoid compound, occurs naturally in orange peel and other citrus fruit extract. It is anti-inflammatory, antioxidant and anti-stress compound and is also used as a food additive in cosmetics, insect repellent, etc. So all the other three are alkaloid derived from plant, while limonene is a terpenoid compound. So the answer to this question will be B, that is limonene. Next questions are cybrids are. So cybrid is a term you can just dissect as cy for cytoplasmic and hybrid and brids for hybrids. So cybrids are actually cytoplasmic hybrids. The cytoplasmic hybrids are unconventional hybrid single cell or plant having nuclear genome from one parent but cytoplasmic genes from both the parent. The cybrids are valuable in contributing to chloroplast and mitochondrial gene research, studies for disease resistance, abiotic and biotic stress tolerance studies, and understanding the phenomena of cytoplasmic male sterility. Next question, artificial seeds are. So artificial seeds are artificially encapsulated somatic embryo or other vegetative parts or any other micropropagules by a hydrogel which can be later sown as a seed and converted into a plant under in vitro or in vivo condition. So you can see the diagram that I have drawn. The important thing is that we use 0.5 to 5% sodium alginate solution and then 30 to 100 millimolar of calcium nitrate solution for encapsulation of embryos for artificial seed formation. So this is important, you just note it because it can be asked in the exam. So what is the use of these artificial seeds? They help in, because artificial seeds are easy to handle, so they help in both storage and transport. They enables the long-term storage without losing viability, and they help in conservation and propagation of elite plant varieties. So the answer to this question will be that artificial seeds are somatic embryo encapsulated in gel. Next question, DNA fingerprinting relies on. So DNA fingerprinting was developed by Alex Jeffries in 1984, and Dr. Lalji Singh is the father of DNA fingerprinting in India. We all know that we have approximately 99% similarity to our DNA and only differ by 0.1%, which makes our DNA unique, and hence this DNA print can be used to identify us, the technique called as DNA fingerprinting. DNA fingerprinting is a combination of RFLP and autoradiography. RFLP stands for restriction fragment length polymorphism, and I will be dealing about the details of RFLP, AFLP and other markers in my lecture videos. The DNA fingerprinters are obsessed with the junk DNA, and they use the variation in the presence of mini satellite and microsatellite repetitive DNA regions, which are generally considered as junk DNA or non-coding regions among the two DNA types. So the answer will be difference in the junk DNA patterns between individuals, that is the second one. So next question, PFU and Wnt polymerase are more efficient than Taq polymerase because of. So let's read a little bit about PFU and Wnt polymerase. The PFU polymerase is obtained from Pyrococcus furiosus, and Wnt is obtained from a thermophile of hydrothermal vent, Thermococcus litoralis. The PFU and Wnt DNA polymerase have superior thermostability and proofreading properties compared to Taq DNA polymerase. The proofreading property is from 3' to 5', exonuclease activity it is. Hence, they can easily remove misincorporated nucleotide at the growing 3' end. Thus, PFU and Wnt polymerase show fewer errors than Taq polymerase generated PCR fragments. So the answer to this will be second one, that PFU and Wnt polymerase are more efficient than Taq polymerase because of proofreading activity. Next question, golden rice is a transgenic crop with the following improved trait. So you can see the figure on the left hand side, the extent to which the golden rice appear golden compared to a white rice. On the rightmost side, you can see the pathway which was exploited for synthesis of beta carotene in golden rice. And golden rice is a genetically engineered to biosynthesize beta carotene in the edible part of rice by the addition of 3 beta carotene biosynthesis genes. The beta carotene is a precursor of vitamin A, and the normal rice actually have beta carotene but only in the leaves for photosynthesis, but not in the seed endosperm. But now golden rice has vitamin A enriched seed endosperm, and it is very important genetically engineered crops because it can be used in areas where children generally suffer vitamin A deficiency due to malnutrition. Since if vitamin A will be incorporated into rice, so rice is a staple food of almost majority of the population in Asia. So obviously it will stabilize the vitamin A deficiency among the poor people. So the answer will be high vitamin A content. Next question, two most important bacteria in field of plant genetic engineering are. So we all know that the answer is Escherichia coli and Agrobacterium. The Agrobacterium uses horizontal gene transfer to cause tumors in plants. The Agrobacterium is well known for its ability to transfer DNA between itself and plants, and for this reason it has become an important tool for genetic engineering. The E. coli is preferred host for gene cloning due to high efficiency of introduction of DNA molecules into cells. Those E. coli cells are called as competent cells because they are competent enough to get the foreign DNA from outside. This property to take naked DNA is called transformation and was first done by Griffith. We all know it was done in the pneumonia causing bacteria by Griffith. At that time he was not knowing the transforming principle and he just called it as a factor. Later on the transforming principle, sorry, and then later on the Avery, McCarthy and McLeod identified it as a DNA. So this was actually the transformation experiment of Griffith was actually the identification experiment also for DNA as a genetic material. Next question, which type of restriction enzymes are commonly used in recombinant DNA technology? So the most common restriction enzyme is the type 2. So let's read a little bit about all of them. So type 1 enzyme perform dual function of being a methylase as well as restriction enzyme. It requires ATP and S-adenosyl L-methionine ADOMET for its function. It cuts at a different site from the recognition site, at least 1000 base pair away. The type 2 restriction enzyme is the most common and it forms undivided palindromic homodimers with recognition sites that are 4 to 8 nucleotide in length. It recognizes and cleave DNA at the same site. It do not require ATP or ADOMET for their activity, but require Mg2 positive, that is magnesium ion, as a cofactor. The type 3 enzyme recognizes two separate inversely oriented non-palindromic sequences and cut the DNA at 20 to 30 base pair after the recognition site. It needs ADOMET and ATP, cofactor for methylation and restriction digestion activity. And type 4 enzymes target modified, typically methylated DNA. Next question, root nodules of legume contain a pink pigment called as. So you can see the beautiful picture of legume crop showing the root nodule and a pink color leg hemoglobin easily visible in the root nodules. So the leg hemoglobin is only synthesized by roots, showing symbiotic relationship with rhizobia. The non-symbiotic roots do not synthesize it. The leg hemoglobin has similar structure to hemoglobin and is red or pinkish in color. The heme biosynthesis gene in leg hemoglobin are from the host side. That is, it is synthesized by the host. This is recent discovery. Earlier it was thought that it is synthesized by the rhizobia bacteria. But now it is found that no, the heme biosynthesis gene is actually synthesized in the host itself. The leg hemoglobin buffers the oxygen concentration in cytoplasm of the nodule cells. This is the most important function of leg hemoglobin, that it buffers the oxygen concentration in the cytoplasm of the nodule cell and maintain a oxygen concentration which is low enough for proper functioning of oxygen sensitive nitrogenase enzyme but high enough for aerobic respiration of the cells. So the answer to this question will be leg hemoglobin, that is option C. Next question, in TCA or Krebs cycle, a 6-carbon compound is formed by the combination of acetyl-CoA and what among the following options? So you can see the TCA cycle on the right hand side, and the question is asking about the step which I have enclosed in the square bracket. So you can see that the 2-carbon compound, that is the acetyl-CoA, combine with the 4-carbon compound, that is the oxaloacetate, to form the 6-carbon compound citrate. So the answer to this question will be oxaloacetic acid, that is the C option. Next question, EMP pathway is the another name of. So this is just a fact based question, and the EMP pathway is another name for glycolysis, and the EMP stand for Embden, Meyerhoff and Parnas. Next question, lycopene is an antioxidant present in high quantities in. So the answer will be tomato. So what are actually antioxidant and what is lycopene? So antioxidants are compounds that inhibit oxidation. Oxidation is a chemical reaction that can produce free radicals, thereby leading to chain reaction that may damage the cells of an organism. So oxidation reaction is actually an aging causes process also. So to prevent that, generally we are recommended the antioxidants. The examples are ascorbic acid, vitamin C, lycopene, etc. Lycopene term came from Lycopersicum, that is a tomato species. It is a bright red carotenoid compound found in high quantity in tomato and also in other fruits such as carrot, watermelon, papaya, and some other non-red fruit also such as guava. So it is not that the lycopene, the tomato is red, so lycopene will be in the red color fruits only like tomato, carrot, watermelon, etc. But it is found in non-red fruits such as guava also. Next question, the term apoenzyme is applicable to. So apoenzyme combines with the cofactor, and apoenzyme is the protein component that combines with the cofactor to forms a complete enzyme which is called as holoenzyme. So the answer to this will be that the term apoenzyme is applicable to protein part of the conjugate enzyme. Next question, so which of the following is not a reducing sugar? The options are glucose, fructose, glyceraldehyde or sucrose. So a reducing sugar is a sugar that acts as a reducing agent since it has a free aldehyde or a ketone group. So you can see the structure of glucose, fructose and glyceraldehyde having a free aldehyde group at the end. But in sucrose, the structure do not have a free aldehyde and ketone group, which are, since it is locked in its cyclic structure in the middle you can see. Hence the option D, that is the sucrose is not a reducing sugar, is correct. So in the next video we will be dealing with the question number 76 to question number 90. I will be giving you the detailed solution with explanation. If you have any doubt in the solution, please do comment. Please like the video and do comment and subscribe to appreciate my work. And please stay tuned for more upcoming solution videos of various MSc entrance exams related to biological sciences.